All right, so we got some very surprising news today, straight from the First Descendant dev team that yes, we are going to be getting the new content much sooner than expected. Plus, our first look at Ultimate Valby, and yes, more on Luna. Plus, we got to talk about it took 200 hours to discover this. This is really cool, but let's get into the big news here. It says the Week 5 update is coming to Albion a day earlier. Be ready to dive into the crystal clear waves with Ultimate Valby on July 31st. And here's our first look at Ultimate Valby right here. This is the first big update for the game in terms of content drops. So that is really cool. And Ultimate Valby is not looking too bad at all. Let me tell you what. Also, yes, they teased Luna here in her stunning new swimsuit cosmetic. Stay tuned for the next update. So yes, Luna is going to have a wide variety of cosmetic options as well. And if you didn't know, Luna is actually considered kind of like a support buff type character. Check it out right here. She's a buff type supporter using her music to grant beneficial effects to allies around her. So she is going to be great, I think, really for the end game, for that hard mode against bosses. She's going to be excellent for the team for sure. So yeah, also we got to talk about some cosmetics that were included in the beta of the game that did not make it into the launch. So check it out right here. It says some skins that were in previous betas, but not in the base game yet. It seems like a lot of people are wondering, when will these be added to the game? It looks like Nexon is kind of withholding these so far, but there's more here. Check it out. Look at how badass these look. This looks really, really cool. And some head skins right here. Some body skins, as you can see. That one's really cool looking. That kind of, I don't know why, that kind of reminded me of Bayonetta. But as you can see, a really cool mask here. And I love the color of this one right here for Sharon. Yeah, that is badass looking right there. Look at that helmet as well. So yeah, this is a really cool, I guess you would say discovery. But yeah, we'll see if they end up adding this to the game. I'll keep you guys in the know, but I imagine that these skins would be coming to the game eventually for sure. And it looks like someone found out something very strange going on with Ultimate Bunny. Check it out. It says apparently Ultimate Bunny's third ability does less damage than normal Bunny. So it goes on to say, since they are fixing Ultimate Glade's Massacre bug next patch, I'd also like them to include this bug fix next patch. This bug has been around since day one, and I'm surprised there's no English-speaking creator mentioning it. Bunny's third skill basically gives you bonus damage per 10% electricity retained. With normal Bunny, your third damage would gradually increase as you travel and charge up. However, this is not the case for Ultimate Bunny. Ultimate Bunny's third is a snapshot, meaning the damage is fixed the moment you cast, and the damage would stay the same for the entire duration of the ability. This is already a big problem, as for Ultimate Bunny, if you cast your third with low charge, you are dealing the same low damage for the entire duration of the skill, forcing her to cast a full charge to be optimal. For normal Bunny, you can just cast whenever, and it'll work as the skill description says, a big downgrade in terms of gameplay, experience, and DPS. Now, here's where the real problem is. For Ultimate Bunny, the snapshot is calculated based on her charge after the cast, as her third takes 15 to 30% charge, depends on skill cost mods, to cast, meaning you always lose out on the skill power times plus 30% bonus from her third. The estimated damage loss from this bug alone is about 13% plus after all the multipliers, depends on the skill cost mod. High voltage works without any issue, so this is clearly a bug for Ultimate Bunny. If you know any ways to inform the devs about this issue, feel free to do so. My ticket to Nexon was never replied. And a lot of people are like, hey, can we get an upvote on this? Get more eyeballs from Nexon on this one. So hopefully they can give us some input as to what's going on with Ultimate Bunny, because that is definitely a problem, especially if you spent so much time grinding for Ultimate Bunny, or even like laid down some actual hard-earned cash. That's definitely got to be an issue. Now, a lot of you guys are probably wondering, hey, how is the First Descendant doing in terms of, the player community? How healthy is the community in terms of player numbers? So yeah, it's still doing great, but some people were concerned, like from 250,000 players down to 70K so fast. What happened to the game? There was a ban wave last week. No, it's definitely not a ban wave. It's just, this is a great explanation. The initial interest is usually higher than how many people actually stick around. Most games tend to lose 80% over the first month. And another point is this is not a PvP game. This kind of number is normal for PvE. Many people already hit the end game. Many people hit the first wave, the first wall, in hard mode. But many people hit the in-game farming. Many reasons. Yeah, exactly. It's not like it's the end of the world. And I think the new content drop, you'll see an increase with the community player count for sure once that new content drop is released. So I'm like not too worried whatsoever. And 70K is still actually really, really good considering that the gaming market right now is extremely competitive. You do have like Once Human out as well. And of course, Helldivers 2 is also going to be getting a brand new content update. So there's a lot going on here for sure. But we also got to talk about this one right here. It says, please add a weekend vendor that sells modules, reactors, and patterns. They go on to say this, we could use the extra descendant and weapon parts from open patterns to trade for currency only the vendor accepts. As it stands, our extra descendant and weapon parts are useless. He could rotate red, yellow modules weekly and a selection of purple and yellow tier Forest patterns. We already have mini systems from other successful looter shooters. Why not add this one too? There is like 203 upvotes on this, but it says incoming the weekly trader, Kevin, wears a suit and tie and carries a very big briefcase. A comically large briefcase, if you will. That'd be actually quite freaking hilarious. Now, also, yeah, we got to talk about 200 hours. And I just found out that, yes, guess what? You can actually sell a descendant. This is actually something in the game. I didn't even know this. It says this is more useless than the weapon vendor in Albion. It says, why would you keep normal Ajax or normal money after getting ultimate versions, though? And it says, have you ever heard from Hemonith mechanic from Warframe? That's why I'm keeping them. Who knows if devs are going to implement a similar system in the future on the First Descendant. Now, what's this mechanic, you ask? And there's clarification here. It says you can subsume the Warframe and get one of its predefined abilities. So theoretically, you would consume a bunny and get her 3 on your main. That is definitely interesting. So maybe, I don't know, we'll get like subclasses in the First Descendant. I'm assuming that's what they're referring to. I have not played Warframe. Again, I really need to hop into that one because you guys have me so curious about it the more you mention it. Also, yeah, let's talk about this. It says, I made a tool that tells you what pattern overlaps the most depending on what materials you need. This is extremely useful. I'll throw it in the description below. But here it is. It says, I got tired of going back and forth on looking at the access info pattern drop, so I made this. I made a tool to tell you which pattern overlaps the most depending on materials you need. Then you could filter if you're feeling doing a certain activity or hate doing Sharon sneaks. I just track all the missing descendants and ultimate weapons and now tells me which pattern will get me the most gain. In my case, this is how it looks. And the tool is sorting the patterns by number of matched materials and then by the total chance of the matched materials. I'm sharing it right now. Since it's usable state, it is in a usable state, but I have plans to update it to add more UI updates to implement priority, maybe quantity for weapons if you really want to collect a weapon per element and stuff like that. Maybe a consumable inventory so it can tell you which materials and how much total you are still missing. Community really, really appreciate this one. It has 1,200 upvotes. And we have this comment here. It says, you deserve to be in a place full of Labradors and ice cream. Yeah, so this is going to be an extremely useful tool for those of you that are farming for ultimates and that sort of thing. All right, so now it's time to go over your top comments. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up right here in a future video. So let's do this. All right, it says, still holding out for paints to be unlimited and able to be applied to default skins. I'm still waiting for Nexon to mention anything about this. They have been very quiet regarding this one. It says they should remove that forced teleportation from outposts. For some reason, when you enter an outpost that another player is already attacking, sometimes you are teleported to the place the other player is. It disrupts the gameplay just to teleport you a few meters. It makes no sense for it to exist. Yeah, exactly. And we have 17 people agreeing with that one. Let's get into the reply. LOL, I know, right? Instead of a strategic positioning, I get teleported in the middle of a mob swarm to get stagger locked. LOL. All right, and another reply here. So Luna is going to attack enemies with heavy metal. Sweet. Hell yes. And also there is like a calm version of music that she will have as well. Then she can flip-flop back and forth between attack mode and being more of a support role as well with her music. Now it says, I would love to see Catalyst and Energy Activators, Blueprints, and Descendant skins in the BP4 Season 1. Hell yes. And I wish scans could help me find records, notebooks, audio, and journal entries. That in some way to see how many are obtained or not on every location. I don't want to be hunting for them when there is none to be found or found them all. Yeah, that would be a nice little quality of life update as well. But yes, there it is. It looks like we're going to be getting that content earlier than expected, a day sooner than expected. So that's really cool. Stay tuned here for more updates. I hope to have some news and updates about Luna as well and some gameplay up of her. So yeah, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Take care.